Imagine an eye pulled from the deep sea, sitting in a scientist's hands like a wet glass dinner plate. Now imagine that eye belonged to a squid so heavy it may be the largest invertebrate we know, a creature built for the black water around Antarctica. This is the colossal squid, Mesonychoteuthis hamiltoni, and the weirdest thing about it is not just that it is huge, it is that its body looks like an answer to a place where almost nothing can be seen. Almost nothing can be reached, and almost everything big enough to matter may be trying to eat you. The colossal squid is often confused with the giant squid, but it is a different animal. The giant squid is famous for length. The colossal squid is famous for mass. It is shorter and thicker, with a heavy mantle, broad fins, massive arms, and hooks that turn the front of the animal into something closer to a living trap. And then there are the eyes. A large adult colossal squid can have eyes about the width of a dinner plate, around 27 centimeters across in studied specimens. That is not a poetic exaggeration. That is an eyeball wider than many human faces, with a huge pupil designed to collect almost impossible traces of light. So the obvious question is, why would a squid need an eye bigger than your head? The easy answer would be to see prey in the dark. But the deeper answer is stranger. Those giant eyes may not be mainly for looking at dinner. They may be for noticing death before it arrives. To understand why, drop the animal into its real world. Not a coral reef, not blue tropical water, not a clear aquarium tank. The colossal squid belongs to the Southern Ocean, especially the cold, deep waters around Antarctica. Down there, sunlight fades fast. At a few hundred meters, the ocean becomes dim twilight. Deeper still, it becomes a black volume of pressure and cold, where animals do not so much see the world as detect tiny interruptions in it. There are flashes down there, but they are not sunlight. Many deep-sea animals make their own light. Tiny plankton can glow when disturbed. Fish and squid can carry lights on their bodies. A moving predator can leave a faint biological sparkle in the water, like a storm cloud dragging lightning through the dark. For most animals, that faint glow is barely useful. But if your eye is enormous, you can gather more light. A larger pupil catches more photons. A larger eye can form a brighter image in a place where brightness is almost gone. That is the simple mechanism. Bigger eye, more light. But colossal squid eyes are so huge that scientists have asked a sharper question. What visual problem is so important that evolution would pay the cost of carrying dinner plate eyes through the deep sea? Prey does not fully explain it. A fish or another squid is small compared with the open water. At long distance, even an enormous eye does not turn the deep sea into daylight. You are not reading fine details across a black ocean. But a sperm whale is not a fish-sized target. A sperm whale is a moving wall of muscle, sound, teeth, and pressure. It dives into the deep sea hunting squid. It uses echolocation, sending clicks through the water and listening for the returning echoes. The whale can search with sound in a place where the squid is forced to solve the problem with light. Now picture the whale moving through deep water. It may disturb glowing plankton as it swims. To us, that glow would be weak and scattered. To a giant squid eye, it might be a warning shape, a dim, moving disturbance where the black water should be still. That is one of the most satisfying ideas about colossal squid eyes. They may be less like binoculars and more like an early warning system, not for seeing a whale's face, for seeing the water around the whale light up. If you like weird biology that starts out looking impossible and then suddenly makes sense, this is exactly what this channel is for. Subscribe if you want more animals that look fake until the mechanism clicks. Now, the eye is only half of the monster. Move forward from the head, and the colossal squid becomes even less like the cartoon squid most people imagine. Around its mouth is a circle of arms and two longer feeding tentacles. Squid arms are already strange because they can grab, taste, and manipulate at the same time. But the colossal squid adds rotating hooks, not just suckers, hooks. On the tentacle clubs, the squid has swiveling hooks that can turn in place. Along parts of the arms, there are more hooks and suckers. In close-up, they look like curved claws set into soft flesh. This is one of the clearest differences between a giant squid and a colossal squid. Giant squid have suckers with toothed rings. Colossal squid have those too in places, but they also have large hooks, especially on the clubs at the ends of the tentacles. That matters because the colossal squid is not built built like a fast, sleek chase hunter. It is usually described as an ambush predator. In the dark, speed is expensive. Searching is expensive. A huge body in cold water has to make its energy count. So imagine the squid hanging in the gloom, fins gently working, arms lowered, eyes taking in faint movement. A fish passes close enough, maybe an Antarctic toothfish. The squid does not need a long, dramatic chase. It can lunge, shoot out the tentacles, and let those hooked clubs grab into struggling prey. Then the arms close in. The prey is pulled toward a hard beak hidden at the center of the arm circle. Like other squid, the colossal squid has a parrot-like beak made of hard material. Behind that is a tongue-like structure called a radula, covered with tiny teeth, which helps tear food down into pieces that can be swallowed. The animal is soft-bodied, but its killing tools are not soft at all. This is where the name starts to feel misleading. Colossal squid makes it sound like the main feature is size. But size is only the surface. The real animal is a package of deep-sea solutions. Huge eyes for faint signals. Hooks for holding prey in a place where a missed grab wastes precious energy. A heavy body for a life in cold, dark water. Fins that can help it hover and maneuver without constantly sprinting. And then, above it all, sperm whales. We know sperm whales eat colossal squid because squid beaks and other hard parts turn up in whale stomachs. Soft squid tissue vanishes during digestion, but the beaks remain. Those beaks are like calling cards from animals humans almost never see alive. Some sperm whales also carry scars from large squid. It is tempting to turn that into a sea monster battle every time, with a whale and squid locked in a giant underwater wrestling match. But we should be careful. Scars do not tell the whole story. Stomach contents do not show us the chase. They tell us these animals meet, and that sperm whales are important predators of big deep-sea squid. The colossal squid is not the villain in a monster movie. It is prey and predator at the same time. To a toothfish, it may be the ambush in the dark. To a sperm whale, it may be a high-value meal. To us, it is a biology problem with almost no direct footage. And that is the strangest part of all. For a century after the species was described in 1925, almost everything scientists knew came from pieces. Arms and hooks found in whale stomachs, beaks recovered after digestion, juveniles taken in nets, rare adults caught by fishing vessels, sometimes still attached to toothfish on long lines. The most famous complete specimen is displayed at Te Papa in New Zealand, a female weighing close to 500 kilograms. That means the animal became famous before anyone had really watched an adult living its normal life. Think about that. We had the hooks, we had the eyes, we had the beaks from whales, we had preserved bodies. We had enough evidence to know the animal was real, enormous, and unlike the giant squid. But its daily behavior, its posture in the water, its hunting style, its mating, its growth, and its exact movements in the deep sea remained mostly hidden. Then in March 2025, researchers using a deep-sea robot filmed a living juvenile colossal squid near the South Sandwich Islands at about 600 meters deep. It was not the giant adult many people expected. It was only about 30 centimeters long, almost transparent, delicate, and ghostly. That made the moment even better. The first confirmed footage of a living colossal squid in its habitat was not a red monster rising from the abyss. It was a baby, glassy and small, drifting through the dark water with the same identity hidden in miniature anatomy. It also revealed a common misunderstanding. People hear colossal squid and imagine every stage of life as enormous, but a colossal squid starts small. Young animals can look very different from adults. The famous heavy, dark red or purplish adult is the endpoint of a life we still barely understand. This is why the colossal squid feels half real and half invented, not because scientists are guessing randomly, but because the deep sea preserves mysteries by being hard to enter. The Southern Ocean is remote, the water is cold and rough, the animals live deep, move through enormous spaces, and are rarely caught in good condition. A creature can be one of the heaviest animals without a backbone and still be mostly known from the leftovers of another animal's meal. But the pieces we do have fit together. The dinner plate eye is not random gigantism. It makes sense in a dark ocean where a huge predator may announce itself only by disturbing faint living light. The hooks are not decoration. They make sense for grabbing slippery prey in black water. The heavy body is not just a monster feature. It makes sense for a large Antarctic squid that has to survive as both hunter and hunted. So when you look at that enormous eye, do not think of it as a freakish object from a sea monster. Think of it as a sensor built by a world with almost no light. Somewhere below the waves, a squid hangs in the cold dark. Its arms are lined with hooks. Its body is heavier than any insect, crab, spider, snail, or octopus we know. Its eyes are wide open, not searching for scenery, but watching for the faintest betrayal in the black water. Because in the deep sea, the first sign of a whale may not be a shape, It may be the darkness starting to glow. What should we investigate next from the deep ocean? Ask your weirdest animal question in the comments, and it might become the next episode.